Hi guys, good day. Please ignore the noise in my background. I'm recording from my home office. All right, cool. So, what this video really is all about is to demonstrate the endpoint functionality and everything I've worked on so far. I would like to walk you through step by step into what I've really implemented and what you should look forward to. So I would love to start with the login endpoint because some of the routes that we're going to be testing requires are protected and requires some level of authentication. For the login endpoint, all you have to do is send a request to the a post request to the login endpoint, and it automatically generates a JWT token for you, which you can then use to go ahead to make requests to the database, to the backend service rather. So you send the request and then it generates the token, and then you can copy the token. Yeah. So you come to the create endpoint. You try to create a recipe. So I have rice. So let me just say I'm creating egg. um, okay, and then I had one more called fish, right? Also, um, the validation doesn't allow you have duplicate names for a recipe. So if I try to send this again, I'm going to get this validation. I'm saying receipt already exists. But before that, I would like to also show that if you don't pass in the token to the backend, it complains and says authentication required, and then you'll be required to pass in a valid token to the backend. So we also have a get request to get all recipes, and then I have data in the database before, so that's why you're seeing all this record. So here's the egg and fish we created. um, so let's say we're trying to get a record with ID 8, right? I pass in the ID 8, and then I get the record with ID 8. But if I try to pass like an alphanumeric here, it also gives me the validation and says ID must be numeric, and yeah, I pass that and I get the valid ID. Also for updating the recipe, right? So when I send a post request to the recipe, I get updated. So ID2, which was formerly something else, now I can update the updated uh, recipe, and it automatically gets updated. So a little bit of the validation that goes on here is when I try to add validation for difficulty, if I add something like 10, it just complains about um, you can only have 1 to 3, blah blah blah, and then I'll have to work with the validations and documentation. Equally for delete recipe, when I come here and try to delete recipe with ID 8, uh, sends me this and I get record deleted. Also for rating recipe, right? So this is my approach to doing that. I wanted to model it against like the Uber process of rating recipe, rating drivers. So you either have like a 1 to 5 star. So if you give this recipe, let's say recipe 10, a 5 star, it goes on to the database. But when you give like a recipe rate of 50, and then you get this blah 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 and stuff. So like that's basically the functionality there. And I also like to demonstrate the test, run my test, and yeah, hopefully everything passes fine. And also I created a console app to help with simple stuff like migration and stuff like that. So when you do this, you can see the list of console app I created just to like show my ability to create an end-to-end solution. So if I wanted to seed like a database, I would just do this HelloFresh seed, and it automatically creates the record into the database for me. So yeah, this is just a simple walkthrough. um, yeah, I just wanted to show what I worked on so far. Thanks so much for the opportunity, and I look forward to your feedback.